Hi, I'm Gisel Calvillo from MAC Cosmetics, and we're here at Gulf City Mall. I wanted to take you guys into a sneak peek on how to do a makeup for Carnival.
This girl, she walking up a storm, whining in a circle. Watch how she perform. She's so cool when she whine and freeze. People stop and staring. Got man on their knees and balling.
Okay, so the first important part is just to kind of get a really even base. So what we used was, I think especially for the fact that you're going to be out dancing, you want the makeup to last. I used the Pro Longwear foundation, and basically that's going to help your makeup stay on, especially humidity proof, sweat proof, and you're going to look really, really good and fresh. The next thing that you really, really want to do is I based her eye. The color's called Painterly. It's a really neutral color. I just kind of lightly based it all over the eyelid just because she's going to be having some shadow on, and because we're going to go ahead and kind of dramatize the whole look, we definitely want it to stay on, stay in place, and not crease. Now actually, because I want the color to really, really stand out, I'm going to go a little bit heavier on just the eyelid. I'm using the same product that I had lightly left over all over the lid, and I just kind of want to do it a little bit more heavier on just the eyelid, as you see here. And the reason why there's a little bit more concentration of product here on the eyelid is just because I want that color to be as bold as possible. To kind of get the ideal version of color, I'm going to use these Pro Longwear eyeshadows. They're also waterproof. They're not going to crease, and the best part about it is the color is very, very bold. So what you want to do is kind of stamp it on, and this is called brush 242. This is a synthetic brush. But the whole part about it is the fact that it's going to really press the color onto the eyelid, and you're going to get that nice pop of color. Now this doesn't have to be perfect because you're going to blend it out anyway. And I kind of want to mix it. I want that color to be as bold as possible. So I'm going to mix it with a little bit of Winkle, just because this one's a little bit more matte. And again, I'm just going to press it right on the eyelid. I'm going to grab my brush 217, and I'm just going to blend out the corners. I don't want to touch that, just so that the color doesn't go anywhere. I'm going to grab my Mineralized Skin Finish Dark Powder, which is a very neutral powder. I'm just going to apply that on the crease just to kind of start to make a shadow. I'm going to take this all the way up. Same thing on the other side. And I like this. This is like a natural crease color. I mean, it's also kind of like a bronzer. I use it as a bronzer. I use it a little bit as an eyeshadow. It's a really neutral brown, and it just kind of softens everything. I'm going to grab Electric Eel. Now this, you want to make sure that when you do this, it's a fluffy brush. If it's a small, kind of more of a tapered brush, sometimes you're going to get a really big mark. This will kind of give it a more finished effect. Look down for me. I'm using this chromographic blue. It's called High Definition Cyan. I'm just going to line the whole eye with this. Go on the bottom as well generously. Line the top. Another good trick is if you want it blue as can be, you can also generously apply this cyan color all over the eyelid. And then you can just press that eyeshadow right on top. It's just going to give it more and more color. Again, this is just so that it's a little bit more impactful than we had it before. Even though your palette is all in blues, you still kind of want, it's kind of fun to add a little bit of an element of like a green or a darker blue. So I'm using Steamy. Look up for me. And I'm just going to press it right on top of this cyan blue. And because the other color is a little bit more matte, that frost is going to kind of pop. So now you can kind of see a little bit better from that eye compared to that eye. Now I want a little bit more definition, look down for me, right in this crease color. So I'm just grabbing Carbon and my brush 219, and I'm literally almost drawing like a crease, just so that I get a little bit more definition when she opens the eye. I have to blend that, so look down for me. I'm grabbing that Electric Eel now and just putting a little bit more over. So it's kind of like working in layers. I know this sounds like a little bit more complicated, but once you start to get into the rhythm of it, it's going to be a lot easier than it's looking. I think it's important that if you're going to go darker on that crease, just that the edge on the top fades out, and it almost kind of disappears. That'll kind of make it look like that really ultimate finished eye versus it looking like you just kind of drew it on. So the color could stay bold in the center of everything. It's just important that the edges kind of fade out. I'm going to take my brush 195, my mystery eyeshadow. I'm just going to slightly, I like this brush just because it's going to not look, again, so drawn in the brow. You just kind of want to fill in the skin with a little bit of color so that that brow kind of looks a little bit thicker. With eyeshadow, it's a little bit easier because it'll be softer. That's why I kind of chose eyeshadow over a pencil. Both are great though. You can never have some feline eye pencil, which is just a black eyeliner. I'm gonna just add that on the corner of her eyes. And the black is just gonna really kind of also highlight the shape is what I really want. Just put generously about 2 coats of mascara. I'm going to do lashes on the top and the bottom. This is number 32 for the bottoms. It's easier to kind of throw it on the center and then you can kind of glue on the edges. So if you don't get it exactly right underneath the lashes, don't worry about it. Try to get it as close though. Putting a little bit of a yellow eyeshadow underneath her brow just to give it that illuminating effect. This eyeshadow is called Sunny Outlook. I'm going to go ahead and spray my brush wet just to make sure that this center is as bold as I can get it. Now be careful doing that and then dipping your brush back into the eyeshadow. You could possibly ruin it if it's too wet. So you definitely just want to work with whatever you loaded onto the brush or use the other side. Now I'm going to go into the foundation, and this is kind of the easier part. The eyes were definitely the most detail. I like to mix a little bit of my moisturizer. So a drop of moisturizer, a drop of the foundation. Now unless you need it, as far as the coverage, you can go lightly with the foundation. I'm just going to grab that bronzer and just kind of add a little bit of darkness on the cheekbone. That's just going to kind of accent her beautiful cheekbones that she has already. Do a little bit on the border of the hairline. I'm going to do a little bit of this. This one's called Pink Treat. It's kind of like a really creamy lip liner. Now with the lips as well, you want to, gloss is beautiful, but you want to, unless you're using our Pro Longwear glass, I would try to stay away from too glossy of a lip because it's just going to fade faster. The more matte you keep the lip, the more it's going to stay on. I'm going to add a little bit of powder. This is a great powder. It just takes away the shine. I want no shine on the forehead, by the hairline, a little bit on the chin. And now we're gonna go ahead and bronze up her body so that you can kind of see the effect of that. The face is looking this glamorous. She's got the hair, she's got this beautiful outfit. We want the whole body to look as well amazing. So that's what we're gonna go ahead and do right now. Wiggle up your bumper, braids up right back, start it over. Real wine, give me wine up. Real girls to the front of the line up. Don't stick wine it, keep the time up. Take a step side up and bend over. Can't drop to the ground. Me love how you do your thing. Girl, you amazing, and you know stay proper. So the last little trip I'm going to give you guys is I'm using a really, it's NW50, it's a really darker foundation. I'm going to just kind of darken these areas here so that I can make it look that extra workout that maybe we're not able to get in right before Carnival. I'm going to go ahead and get it in right now with a little bit of makeup. So you want to just lightly do it. You don't want it to be too stripey. But it just kind of adds a nice little hint. And I'm just highlighting her bones that are already there. This way, it just kind of gives you a more finishing touch. She walking up a storm, whining in a circle. Watch how she perform.